Hi, welcome back to the Shadow Board podcast. I'm Emmy Richardson and I am the independent member of the Shadow Board. And today we are joined by Mike Higgins from Bechtel Cavendish Nuclear Solutions, the winners of the Collaboration Award. So Mike, welcome.
Morning. Thank you. So I'm Mike Higgins. I'm the PFCS, which is Power Fuel Cladding Silo for Bechtel Cavendish Nuclear Solutions. I'm the project director or project program manager, whatever you want to call me.
Can you tell us more about the Bechtel Cavendish Nuclear Solutions and what you guys do?
Yeah, okay. So Bechtel and Cavendish, operating as BCNS, which stands for Bechtel Cavendish Nuclear Solutions. We're a joint venture working for our customer Sellafield Limited. We've been working together for almost 11 years on a mission critical project. And that's to access and retrieve radioactive waste from one of Europe's most hazardous and challenging nuclear facilities, Power Fuel Cladding Silo. So that involves the design, the manufacture and installation of a system to access and retrieve the radioactive waste from the Sellafield site in Cumbria. It's a first of a kind because the radioactive hazard and the aging infrastructure. So it's 1950s was the years the silo itself was originally built, and it was based on an American grain silo design, so not really meant for nuclear radioactive waste. We're across 3 geographical locations. So we have the design office in Warrington, where a lot of project controls, design, them types of functions operate out of. We obviously have the Sellafield site, where the construction, the commissioning takes place, and that's where the silo itself is. And then we have a training facility and manufacturing facility at Rosyth in Edinburgh, where we also have a secondary unit which we've manufactured and tested, and we use that as a training facility. Okay.
Yeah, sounds like there's a lot of moving parts to you guys. But could you maybe give us an insight as to why you think you won the award?
I think we really deserved it, to be honest. The JV relationship we've got with the customer is absolutely fantastic. Collaboration itself is really the beating heart of the PFCS project. We've got the support of the customer, our supply chain. We all work together collaboratively as one team. You know, we've got a really challenging program of work, not just nuclear safety. We've got security, regulatory and system interfaces, which we've got to deal with. And if we didn't have collaboration at the heart of that, then, you know, we wouldn't achieve it. It's not been an easy journey. You know, back in when the project started off 10 or 11 years ago, you know, we had the original contractor customer relationship with lots of hard won battles and discussions that we had to have. So we did a reset a number of years ago, and we've built on that collaboration and trust ever since then. And I think, you know, collaboration has been instrumental to PFCS's success. We've saved the UK taxpayer almost 400 million. You know, we've got long-standing high levels of trust, and we've also, you know, we've seen that through to the end, particularly around recent events with COVID and the pressures of COVID. We had to change our working practices. We were the first team off site, I think, and operating within a number of days when the lockdown was originally announced. And you know, we wouldn't have achieved that unless we had such a strong focused team.
Impressive. So you talk about collaboration being a success, like part of the success of your joint venture. But what makes successful collaboration, in your opinion?
Well, again, all having the same mission. So at the start of this, we created one vision for the team. And in the case of PFCS, that was to get the waste out of the silo as soon as possible, to safely and to time, cost and quality. So we needed to make sure that became part of our culture and our DNA. So when the design teams were struggling with the design and they were looking at opportunities, etc., if it didn't fit that mantra of getting the waste out of the silo, that change or whatever they were trying to bring in wouldn't go into the program of works. So it was about having that determination to make sure, you know, the key critical thing was, how do we make this facility safer? And I think, you know, a really good example of that as well, we were recognised for industry in 2020. So we won, PFCS project was selected by the CBI, which is the Confederation of British Industry. as a case study project for its publication for Cabinet Office, and that was around delivering value for the public and for business. So again, that's another reinforcement of what PFCS is about, and how we've collaborated and how we've made the project a success. And again, as I said before, this isn't just BCNS. This is our supply chain. We've got some really fantastic supply chain partners. Our team up at Recyth, which is part of Babcock Marine Limited, they're absolutely fantastic. And then, of course, without which our customer, we wouldn't succeed unless we had such a fantastic customer.
It sounds like you guys are really utilising the most out of collaboration and setting an example for everyone else and the BECBC members. And it's really interesting to see how you guys are doing it. Yeah. So you've been working together for 11 years.
Yeah.
Was it more of a hurdle at the start to, making collaboration successful, or has it been a long-term constant improvement?
Yeah, it's hard work. It was really hard work at the start. As I said before, there was the contractor and client relationships. At some points, they were at breaking point. They were really strained. So 5 or 6 years ago, we decided, the main mission is to get this waste out of the silo as soon as possible. So they had a project reset. We weren't happy with the way the projected numbers were going in terms of overall cost escalation, and it certainly wasn't palatable to the regulators. So we had a reset. We worked really hard on making sure relationships are at the forefront. We have what was called the stinky fish moment. So it's a little actual fish that we spent £10 on, the best £10 we've ever spent on the project, and it was an Amazon fish. And when we've got to have those difficult conversations with, whether that's the customer, whether that's internally, whether that's with the regulator, whoever it may be with, we throw the stinky fish in. Although I must point out, we don't need that anymore. People have got it in their heads. If we need to have a difficult conversation, we don't need to throw the stinky fish in the room. But for the all intents and purposes of this discussion, originally, we would have the stinky fish thrown out on the desk, and then we'd have those difficult conversations, and we wouldn't leave the room until the decision had been made. And I think that was important. Be open and honest, transparent, open book. Right now, if we've got anything difficult to say, we do say it. And I think if you work hard on that and you have those relationships built on trust, I think you've got the real building blocks for the culture of collaboration.
Yeah, I think that's such a good idea.
I can't claim that idea, Emmy. I'll be honest. That was one of the team before my time on the project, but
yeah,
it really does work. Let's not hide things behind the scenes. Let's have the difficult conversations. We're grown adults, and we're on the same mission. So whatever's important to retrieve that waste, because in its current state, whilst it's safe, we can make it safer.
Yeah, I've had a similar conversation about collaboration earlier today, and the same thing came up. Having these grown-up conversations, you've just got to do it, and and once you get past that hurdle, then it sounds like it's much smoother for everyone.
We have leadership alignment meetings as well between the senior people on the team as well. Just basically, if we're displaying those characteristics around, leadership and setting the example, hopefully the rest of the team will follow. We focused on 4 pillars in those leadership meetings, which are people, collaboration, innovation, and management. So how do we agree best to move forward and roll out initiatives? And that's important around improving communication, collaboration, team building, well-being, feedback. So we do a lot of that, as well as inclusive training. We share resources. We learn from experience. We innovate, and we use best practice. So, and the project ethos model is structured and measured against all of those pillars.
Yeah, sounds fascinating. And then, as you said, it's really obvious why you are deserving winners. So yeah, congratulations again, and thank you for taking the time to talk to us.
Thank you very much, Emmy. Appreciate it. Thanks very much.